Hey love, and welcome to another video. And today's topic is 2-strand twist starter locks on relaxed, or some of you guys might say perm hair. Okay, let's get into it. I'm excited about this one. I love talking about all these topics. So, all right, got my notes here. Oh, let me not fall off. Okay, all right. Ooh, I just feel like spinning every time I sit on here. Okay, why would someone start with 2-strand twists? So here is why someone would start their locks with 2-strand twists. It costs less. Most people, when they're thinking about starting their locks, they're thinking about if they have fine, low density hair, they want volume. So some people would get 2-strand twists so they can get the volume from the jump because they don't want to wait. Okay, so the cost, the volume, the look of it, some 2-strand twists, it just looks really good, especially when people don't really want to commit. They kind of want that I woke up like this, wet and go type of hair. So I feel like the people who start off with 2-strand twists, that's like the kind of look they're going for. But I think the biggest thing is it costs less and it's less time sitting in the chair. I'm sure there's some other benefits too, but that's what I can think of from the top of my head. Now, since some people start 2-strand twists wanting volume, if your hair is relaxed, meaning some people use a perm, say perm in our community, but the actual term is relaxed, but I'll say both just so I know that you know what I'm talking about, okay? So you know. But if your hair is relaxed, the volume that you're looking for, you're not gonna get it. So I personally would not start somebody's hair with 2-strand twists if your hair is relaxed. I would say let's interlock it, right? That's what I would want to do. Let's interlock it. But even with the relaxed hair, most people won't lock it because relaxed hair lost all of its curves, okay? When the hair is relaxed, it ain't got no curves, ain't got no body. It's just there, right? So typically, if you are relaxed, most people won't start your locks. They'll say you will need about 3 inches of new growth, about 2 inches of new growth before you can even get started. And some will only lock just the new growth and leave the loose hair, the relaxed hair out. I personally, if you want to start your lock journey, so let me digress a little bit. Let me jump over here a little bit. I'll come back to 2-strand twists, but just in case some folks thinking about interlocking and they want to start that way. So I'm gonna come back over here. Okay, let me go over here. Yeah, I'm a squirrel. I'm like all over the place. Okay, but let me come over here. If you're interlocking, but your hair is relaxed, but you don't have 2 to 3 inches of hair to start your locks, you can still start. I would just lock the whole strand. It is a little pointless, but if you're trying to avoid bunching, lock the whole strand. Even if you have 2 to 3 inches to start, do not leave that relaxed hair out because it's just going to bunch up and be a hot mess unless you're planning on taking care of it. When I say taking care of it, you like on it, okay? Now I'm going to leave that alone. Leave that. If y'all want a video on that, I'll come back to that, but I'm going to leave that alone. So back to the 2-strand twist. With the 2-strand twist, if you have relaxed hair and you're like, I want to start now, I don't want to wait until my hair grow out for me to cut this relaxed part, right? And when I say relaxed, it could be the actual relaxer that you put in your hair. It could be your hair. You could have been flat ironing your hair for years and now your hair is straight. It does not even revert back to its curl, or even if it does some reverting, is like instead of it being real tight how it used to be, now it's just wavy. That's still heat. That's heat damage. So if you have heat damage hair, I'm gonna lump you in with the relaxers because your hair is going to do the same thing. Because when it's heat damage, the curl pattern is gone, and you can get heat damage through excessive blow drying of the hair, constantly flat ironing it, doing those keratin smoothing treatment that kind of straighten your hair. Anything that causes your hair to go straight, that's what we're talking about. Okay, so straight hair. So my initial advice for anyone with straight, relaxed hair that's wanting to start their lock journey, I'll say, grow your hair out, cut the relaxer off, then get started. But if you're like, girl, what you mean cut it off? I need length. I need inches. If that's you, then here's what you can do. I would say grow about 2 inches and then start. But if you like, I ain't got time to be growing 2 inches, Pauline. It take me 6 months to grow through 2 inches. I ain't got time. I want to lock. Okay. So you can go ahead and start the locking process. Y'all know me, I'm out the box, so I ain't about to, unless whatever you plan on doing is detrimental to your hair, I ain't gonna do it. But if it's not starting your locks off with it being relaxed, heat damage or whatever, and you want to get started and you're willing to put in the work to keep it well maintained, I'm all for it if that's what you want to do, okay? Just don't be nagging folks about when you know how some of y'all be. We tell y'all this is what's gonna do, and then when it starts, you're like, yeah, I know, I'm good. And then it starts doing X, Y, and Z, and then y'all like, what's going on? I'm like, we talked about this, didn't we? We talked about this, so don't be acting like you don't know, okay? All right, so moving on. I don't know why I can't do 5-6-minute videos. Okay, so when you go to start your 2-strand twist, right, you can start it with a braid, then 2-strand twist. If you have about 2 inches of new growth, it's just the base is gonna hold better. But if you don't have any new growth, then a new growth of that kinky hair, then still, whether you have new growth or not, start with braids. You braid it about 1/2 inch or 1 inch and then twist, or you can twist it then interlock it. Okay, so that's how you can start it on relaxed hair. Now mind you might want to use products if you want to do the foam or whatever to twist the hair. Now, because the hair is straight, because the hair isn't heat damaged, because the hair has no form, it has no curls to it, has no waves, it has no body to it, how your locks will look in the beginning, yes, it will look limp. It will look like it hadn't eaten in days. So you know how it's going to look like that. It's going to look skinny. Like, y'all remember, I saw a video, a comedian was like, when I see skinny girls, I just say, hungry girl. He was, I think, Jamaican or something like that. Hungry girl, saying, you're too skinny, so that you must be hungry because you're so skinny. It was funny back then. But anywho, if it's too skinny, it's not going to have any volume. So if you're looking to start your locks using the 2-strand twist method and your hair is relaxed, don't do it because of volume, because you won't have it for a long time, okay? You won't have the volume. So I know that's one of the reasons why some people will start with the 2-strand twist, especially if they have fine low density hair, because they want the volume. The volume comes from the curls and the waves and all the stuff in the strands of your hair. So if you don't have that, there ain't gonna be no volume, baby. Okay, so no volume. All right, so that's pretty much how it would look when it start. Y'all over here talking about, oh, when you lock your hair, the plug chicken look, baby. You ain't seen plug chicken yet until you start like that, okay? So we talked about how it's going to look when you first start off, right? Let's talk about what you can expect from when you start your locks using the 2-strand twist method and you have relaxed or heat damaged hair. First of all, it won't swell. So you know how when you interlock, when you are loose natural and you have all your curls and you ain't got no heat damage, no chemicals in your hair or anything like that, when you lock it, it swells over time, it expands. Baby, if you are relaxed or heat damaged, there's no expansion happening, okay? It's going to stay as is. So however it looked like from day one, it will pretty much look like that. Now it will try to do some matting and all, but from day one it's gonna look like that. So if it was skinny and hungry from day one, it's gonna be skinny and hungry until eternity for that part of your hair, okay? Now the new growth, as the new growth comes in, that is dealing with, we're dealing with the true texture of your hair, we're dealing with your true curl pattern. So now you're gonna have some volume, some thickness to it and different things like that. That will swell and do all that stuff. But baby, the relaxed part ain't gonna do nothing, okay? So yes, you're going to have cousins growing on the same strand. So you're gonna have cousin number 1, which is that straight part, and then you're gonna have cousin number 2, which is that, baby, this is the real locks right here, okay? So that's what you can expect. So it won't swell. It will not swell or expand or anything like that. Here's the kicker. It will bunch, okay? It will bunch. So many people like, oh, my hair is bunching. Did you start off with heat damage? Yeah, how did you know? Or, there's so many reasons why your hair can bunch. If you have a loose curl pattern, your hair will bunch. You can bunch. If your hair is not interlocked properly or different things like that, it can bunch. Even if you have your natural curl, you had no heat damage, and you start off with 2-strand twists, depending on your cuticles, the cuticles of your hair, the porosity of your hair, and the curl pattern of your hair, it can bunch. But when you are relaxed, it bunches, it has a higher probability of it bunching a whole lot more than anything, okay? So do expect it to bunch. And last part of what to expect when you lock it, when you start off with a 2-strand twist with heat damage or relaxed hair, it won't lock. It will just literally, it will look like, for the most part, with a little bit of some changes over time, but it won't lock. It will look like how it will look, just how it looked like from day one. So it won't lock, okay? So if you're looking for it to lock and you're waiting for it to lock, it won't lock because it's straight. It might do a little something, but it's not gonna lock, okay? The straight part, not the new growth coming in. The new growth coming in, baby, it's gonna lock. But and keep in mind, the new growth, you're interlocking it for maintenance, and I'm talking about we interlocking for maintenance, right? The new growth is going to do its thing. It's going to lock. But the straight part, it won't lock, okay? So now you're probably like, well, Pauline, this all sounds so sad. This sounds like a bad idea. What can I do? Here's what you can do. Here's the brighter side of it, okay? If you're going to start that route with the 2-strand twist, put roller section. I don't want to say roller set because y'all thinking the whole foam, y'all thinking all that. Put rollers in your hair, the soft sponge rollers. Put rollers in your hair to create volume so that you're not walking around looking like a plucked chicken with just limp 2-strand twist hair that has no volume. So if you want volume, just put rollers in your hair. You can put rollers in your hair to get the volumes. You can to get the volume. You can do braid outs. You can do twist outs to get like waves. Rollers make it like this is like 2 weeks old rollers, and you see how the ends are still nice and curly, right? If y'all saw my live, y'all saw the rollers I was using. This is it, y'all. 2 weeks ago, I'm about to wash my hair out now because it's been 2 weeks since I did this roller stuff, and the curls are still in there. So if you're doing 2-strand twists, putting rollers in it will give you the nice curl. Now the curls will be deeper. This is just how it looks after 2 weeks. But the first week it was like closer, tighter. If you want something looser, the braid out or the 2-strand twist, you just want some more, just waves, right? So you can do that. So that's what you can do for volume. Now, when you go to shampoo your hair, be sure to braid and band. But it is going to be imperative, okay? Crucial for you to braid and band when the 2-strand twist portion is relaxed and the new growth is your normal curl pattern, right? So the reason why it's important to braid and band with the 2-strand twist, even though the 2-strand twist won't lock, it's still important because it's braiding and banding is going to reduce the bunching. So if you're like, well, Pauline, what can we do about this bunching? You said it's most likely to bunch. What can we do about it? Braid and band. Because when you go to shampoo your hair, there's a lot of movement going on when your hair get wet. The water is, all in there. There's movement, there's flow. So the strand's gonna be moving. The new hair that's coming in, that is in its natural coily state, right? As it coils, it's going to pull that straight part. And that's how you end up with heavy, excessive bunching. When you have a looser curl pattern and your hair is not interlocked or braided all the way, or when it's straight and you start off with 2-strand twists. You know how when you wet your hair, the curl stretches, your curls stretch and it's looser, but when it dries, that shrinkage, right? So same thing, same concept. So just follow me, okay? When you wash your hair your curls, your hair loosen up and different things like that, right? Now when it starts to dry, the curl part, the natural part, not the relaxed part, the natural part starts to shrivel up. The same way when you wash your hair and it's like nice and elongated, and then when it dries, it's like, you're like, where's the hair? So that same thing, the curl, the elasticity and everything, it starts to retract. When it retracts, what does it do? It pulls on the straight hair, and the straight hair gets pulled. Now, not all the strands are going to retract at the same rate, at the same time, different things like that. So that's how you end up with the bunching. So you have these strands. Think of my fingers as strands, right? So these are straight strands. These are the curly strands. It starts to retract. Some of them go retracting and doing different things at different rates and speed and stuff. So now some strands are pulled while some strands are still straight. So now it starts to create that bunching, right? So if you don't braid and band, that's what you can expect. Some strands pulling and some strands staying straight. So now it's bunching up. and it's bunching up faster, right? So that's what you can expect with that loose part. And then where your natural curl and the straight part intersect, that's where most of that bunching sometimes will take place. And then the bunching in other places on that straight strand of 2-strand twist lock. So that's what you can expect with the bunching. But to minimize that, braid and band before you shampoo, braid and band if you're going, braid it down if you're going swimming, anytime it's going to interact with water, braid and band, because water will relax the strand, and then when it's drying it's going to shrivel up, and so when it shrivels up you're going to get bunching. Okay, so to minimize that bunching, braid and band, it's imperative if you want neat looking locks. So okay, so we talked about braid and banding. The next thing you want to do to prevent bunching is to put your hair in a protective style. If you work out, you go swimming a lot, you do all this stuff, put your hair in a protective style because it's going to minimize the bunching. Okay, protective styles can be braid outs, twist outs, doing some cornrows, going back, put the 2-strand twisting it into a style or different things like that. There's hope. It's just you got some work to do. You can't just lock it and be like, oh, okay, I got my relaxed hair lock, a 2-strand twist lock, I'm good. No, baby, you got work to do. You got to clock in. Every day you got to clock in and take care of that hair, okay? Because it's going to be a part-time job for you, okay? Side hustle without the pay, all right? Okay, so protective style. So we talked about that to prevent bunching. Then you want to, if I were you, I would recommend trimming the straight parts, the relaxed part over time. After 2 to 3 years locked, I would start trimming. You could probably do it a little earlier, but around that time, start trimming the straight part. Now, if your hair grew a lot and you're like, okay, I'm happy with the length of the new growth where it's at, and you want to cut and it's been 2 to 3 years, and you want to cut the straight part completely off, then you're more than welcome to do that, because in 2 to 3 years that where the straight hair and the natural hair meet is going to be locked. So even though the straight hair didn't lock, your natural hair will lock. So you can clip off that straight part and it will be locked, and you don't have to worry about unraveling or anything like that, okay? So trim over time or grow it to a certain length and just do that big chop, okay? So that's pretty much it. Overall, if you were to do it that way, it will be very pretty, okay? It will be gorgeous. Think about back in the days before Microlocs, Sisterlocs, and all this other stuff was in play. Y'all remember there were different terms for it. Pinktail, micro braids, where they would braid your hair, braid the extension in your hair, like up to about, braid it about 1 inch or 2. Some people longer, or, braid it and then leave the ends loose. You have we used to do it with the deep curl, the something in wavy. I forgot the name of it, but you know how y'all remember that style, right? Where you braid the extension and then let the ends be curly. That's pretty much what the 2-strand twist, if you start off with 2-strand twist relaxer locks, that's pretty much what it can look like. It won't look like that just for anybody. It can look like that if you stay on top, maintaining it, taking care of it. When I say taking care of it, every day you're taking care of this thing. Braiding it before you go to bed at night, twisting it, making sure anytime moisture about to hit your head, you're doing something about it. Like, you're gonna really have to take care of it. So that's what I'm saying. It can be very pretty if you maintain it very well, and that maintenance is a part-time job, okay? So that is what you can expect. That is what was the title of this video again? Let's see. That's the what you can expect, how it will look, and what you can do starting off with 2-strand twist starter locks on relaxed hair or heat damaged hair or anything like that, okay? So I hope somebody get more clarity. You got some clarity on what you can expect and so forth. So if you have any questions, put it in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. And whether you decide to do it, start that way or not start that way, whatever you do, if you start that way, just know you're just clocking in for more work, okay? But if you don't start, if you decide, well, I'm gonna just grow my hair, I'm gonna just cut this relaxed part hair off and grow my hair out and start that way, then that's fine too. So if you have any questions, let me know, put in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.